Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Roundup. We've already made it through this week's Image and DC books. Now it's time to kick things off with this week's Marvel books. We'll start things off with Uncanny X-Men #1. Oh, 701 legacy numbering, but you know. So, this is the first issue of the Gail Simone the Gail Simone and David Marquez Uncanny X-Men reboot from basically Uncanny X-Men from the Ashes era. The team at the moment is not fully put together, but yeah. So we open with at Xavier's. Well, what was formerly Xavier's. Woman named Dr. Ellis shows up and talks to the security captain, Dr. Ezra. And she has some interesting choices when it comes to how the aesthetic of the place. Every scrap of wood and brass out of the building. Any personal items within the school are to be burned. Strip any art, anything of value, put it in a lockup for appraisal and conversion to liquid assets. Then she wants the student quarters to be cells by this time next week. Full perimeter monitoring, maximum deterrent level, lethal response. Then she wants Cerebro burned to the ground as their first inmate is delivered. But 24 hours ago in Mexico City, Logan is meeting with an old army buddy. Miguel's dying, but apparently they had a bet to see who would die first. Looks like a bottle of tequila was the wager. Technically speaking, Logan's won the bet, but then he said he can't take it because, he cheated. He died. He was gone, then he wasn't. And Miguel asks if Logan misses it, and Logan says sometimes he misses it, sometimes he misses the quiet. After going to see Miguel, Logan meets with Rogue and Gambit at the Pyramid of the Sun and at Avenue of the Dead in Teotihuacan, about a 40-minute drive from Mexico City. And Apparently, the Sun has a guest. A giant, a big old giant dragon. And the dragon is, looks like he's gonna figure he's gonna chow down on a brief little snack. Wolverine, Rogue, and Gambit. But it turns out that Dragon's got one of the eyes of Agamotto. And the dragon basically says he sees who each of them are: the thief, the hunter, and the scared little girl. But Wolverine makes a few incisions and gets to the eye, but doesn't manage to take it. Gambit, however, manages to take it and basically tell the dragon, I got this. I got in the trade. Here's the deal. You can either, go kill my friends and I'll destroy the eye, or you go someplace else, someplace, we'll be out, well, you'll be out of, you're not going to bother anybody. And in a year, you'll get the eye back. And so the dragon agrees, and Gambit says, okay, go to Antarctica. And the dragon states that, it'd be nice to have an ice trade again. So, yeah, that's the spirit. But the dragon did destroy Logan's bike, so Logan had to bum a ride with Rogue and Gambit. But there's a phone call from Scott. Apparently, they're gonna meet someone in Tennessee, and Rogue was requested. At least Rogue was requested by name. Meanwhile, in Central Oregon, a young girl with who seems to be something. A mutant who has the upper from the knees up. She appears human, but aside from the antlers, but she's got a deer's feet. But something's after her. She refers to stuff as fawn. In Tennessee, or no, not Tennessee, Mississippi. University of Mississippi Medical Center. Kurt meets Remy, Logan, and Rogue in the pediatric oncology section. Kid by the name of Harvey. Biggest fan of the X-Men. But, yeah. Kurt brought him one of the black and yellow jackets, but he has a seizure though. Say, Harvey says that they're coming. You have to help them. One of them is the Endling. And Harvey passes. Nightcrawler delivers last rites, but Rummy's got a place for them to hunker down in Louisiana. A friend of his, but they're just debating what to do. Rogue suggests maybe they head north. Cyclops is building something up there, she thinks, but Logan says, "Yeah, no." So they say it's an imaginary community run by Scott Summers. He's everywhere you look, every step you take. And Logan's not going back there, whatever it is. It ain't the X-Men you mean. But apparently Rogue called up Kate, and Kate doesn't want to be an X-Man anymore, and told her not to call again. But Gambit suggested maybe they're not responsible for every weight ever loaded up on the world. Maybe they live for a time without fighting. Logan says, Remy's got a point. They ain't the ones to fill Chuck's chair. And then he asks why Rogue would even want to. And it's got to be because of Harvey. There has to be a purpose. And she doesn't want to go back to having no purpose. But Logan cuts her off when he hears hooves in the woods. And 4 kids show up. And a horse. Asking for help. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting hook. Pretty sure Nightcrawler's going to be joining. Oh, obviously Nightcrawler's going to be joining up. He is featured prominently on promotional artwork for the book, and presumably Jubilee will be there as well. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Wolverine Deep Cut #2. Where we left off, Wolverine had a rather vicious fight with Sabretooth in Japan back during the I want to say the X-Men's Outback era, and Wolverine killed Sabretooth. But not before getting his eyes gouged out. But Wolverine noted that he didn't smell. Sabretooth didn't smell right. Like it was Sabretooth, but not quite. Realizing that it was a clone, meaning this was Sinister. So the issue opens with Wolverine doing some calisthenics in the snow in Japan, and thinking back on the Marauders and the Mutant Massacre. Riptide hurt Nightcrawler pretty bad, but Colossus took out Riptide. The Harpoon tried to take out Rogue, but Kitty got in the path of his, well, energy harpoon. And also kind of going through, what each of them can do. But this is during the period when the X-Men were basically believed dead after the fall of the mutants. So basically, Wolverine, the X-Men are kind of sort of stealth. It's like if someone sees one of them, they'll just, for a moment they'll register, then it'll fade from memory eventually, and they're completely invisible to like cameras and whatnot. And so Wolverine goes to the Nebraska State Home for Foundlings, where Cyclops grew up. First goes after Blockbuster and manages to take him down, but that gets Arclight's attention, but also takes out, for a moment, Vertigo and Prism. Scrambler gets taken out by Harpoon. Then Harpoon takes the adamantium lace knuckle sandwich. And Riptide gets run through by Logan. But Logan's focusing on Arclight because she's probably one of the bigger threats. But Scrambler scrambles him up. And Grey Crow shoots out one of Logan's eyes, but reveals the tanks of the cloning tank that's of the other Marauders. Logan states that he's gonna basically take care of all the clones of the Marauders. And kind of point out they're just dogs as soon as was beck and call. And well, he also points out that they've killed a lot of people that they've killed some people he's cared about. So yeah, he's gonna take care of all the clones. Though yeah, the clones there's a lot. That is where the issue ends. We've seen the Marauders cloned multiple times beyond this era of X-Men. So yeah, it's a dent in the whole thing. Moving on though to our last book for the moment, we've got Avengers number 17. So the Avengers have been busy. They helped the X-Men fight Orcus. Then there's also that whole blood hunt thing. And the issue begins with a volcano erupting in Western Russia. 2 weeks prior to Blood Hunt. And now Carol gathers the Avengers together and says that they failed. But Black Panther disagrees because the sun shines again, the world still spins. humanity and the other thinking species that they share the globe with survive and thrive. They defeated Varney, they defeated the vampires. Though Carol says that it never should have happened. They never should have allowed it to happen. Thousands of people died. Wanda points out that billions were saved, though. They stopped an extinction level event. And Carol points out that extinction level events are what they do. Tribulation events. She mentions that, Kang warned them about them, and they contained the Action Combat with minimal loss of life. But that was just the first of the tribulation events. The fall of the Impossible City. In the Blood Hunt, Kang's endless night. They owe this world a duty if we dare to call themselves the Avengers. Thousands dead instead of billions is still a failure. Close enough is not enough. And Doctor Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. Miles Morales is a vampire. And now they can walk around in the sunlight. So Tony talks her down, in part as her sponsor. For those who may be unaware, Carol Danvers is a recovering alcoholic, and Tony Stark is her AA sponsor. But we have another interlude in Gainesville, Florida, 1 week before the Blood Hunt. The owner of a gas station is paid to give a thumb drive to the press. Paid with a chunk of gold, just a straight up chunk of gold. But Tony and Carol's talk, it's basically as her sponsor. And Tony asks if she's trading one addiction for another. And say that guilt can be an addiction. And it goes down easy because it feels like you're doing right. But elsewhere in the Impossible City, Black Panther checks in with the city. And he brings up the Twilight Court, but apparently, when the Twilight Court was attacked the city didn't register any enemy combatants. It didn't know who the Avengers were fighting, and so just could not perceive them at all. Turns out that the city and Vision have been working on a garden in the city. And he's of two minds about whether Carol's right. The fact that he is a machine says that yes, Carol is exaggerating, but the human engrams. Basically the mind of Wonder Man is just like, is she really overreacting though? Then someone takes off from someone flies out from Pluto in Atlanta. Captain America goes to talk with Storm, and Sam stated that Carol was right, at least that Carol's not wrong, and he asks Storm for an outside opinion, and it Storm kind of says when it comes to the blood hunt. Yeah, you got there was there was no warning. It's not like they had the intel. They're like, oh yeah, the vampires might be planning an attack around this time, so maybe we should look. Someone should look. We should look into that somehow, or whatever. But when it comes to Orcus, they did. They knew they had reservations. They could have stopped Orcus, nipped it in the bud basically, but they didn't. And so Captain America invites Storm, Regent of Soul, to join the Avengers. Basically, the Queen of the Solar System to join Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But in Gainesville, Florida, guy brought a thumb drive to a newspaper, and well, they're going to take a look at it. Turns out and Thor is talking with the city as well. But their talk is interrupted by the video from the thumb drive. It's Hyperion, saying he was the world's greatest hero, and he saved it time and again. Lived in a world that was good, lived in a world that made sense, a world where he was loved, where he loved and was loved. But that world was a lie. Everything Hyperion knew, everything he had done, a lie. And so, priority alert to the Avengers. And if Hyperion's world was a lie, what did that make him? And if the world is real, then Hyperion is a lie. And if he is real, then the world is a lie. He has no way to prove either, so he's going to end both. By the time that this is being heard, Hyperion will be approaching Earth at a significant portion of the speed of light on a collision course. When he arrives, when he impacts, what is lie and what is truth will no longer be relevant. He's not saying this to frighten. He's telling this so that everyone has time to make peace with whatever you hold important. Nothing can stop him. And that is where the issue ends. It's nice to see some it's nice to get some of the Jason Aaron plot points, or dangling plot threads taken care of, addressed. But anyways, Storm on the Avengers. I dig it. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.